Without People. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of The World Without People. My name is Ayomide. I am excited. I'm always excited, but this is season 4. And it's been just a journey to be here, and I'm so excited to have my very first guest of the season, Oluwamayowa Idowu. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, seriously, thank you for coming because one, like somebody just connected us and you actually accepted. I'm very curious. Is that just your personality or what was the deciding factor? Let me say it like that.
I don't think there's any deciding factor. I think the request just made sense. And for context, it's not like I don't even know the person.
Okay.
Like he literally just sent me a message on Twitter saying, "Oh, I want to send you a message. Can you follow me back?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then he sent me the message, said, "Oh, I really like the stuff you do." And I think that's one thing, always lead with flattery.
You see, that's the deciding factor.
So, and I mean, if anything, I would just say maybe it seemed like he obviously had engaged with what I do.
Right.
And if all I needed to do was essentially turn up to come and talk.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure. Happy to.
No, that makes me happy, honestly. I feel like I am on the flip side of that though. Like right now I'm like, what do I have to say? What am I talking about? But you do have like 5 different podcasts. And so this is not new to you. Well, welcome. I always want to have a background story because it will turn out now that we probably have friends together, even though I didn't see that on Instagram, but we have some kind of connection together. So the background, primary school, secondary school, university, a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I was born in Lagos, grew up in Lagos, primary school. So I went to the same school for 13 years of my life.
Oh, wow.
So when I say same school, Coroner.
Yeah.
So I went to Coroner from nursery 2 to year 12.
Wow.
So
that is deep.
Yeah, so I think just kind of obviously growing up in that system. So a lot of my friends from primary school were some of the friends that I went to secondary school with. And obviously you make new friends, you do all that stuff. And then I think I moved to England at 17, so I went for 6 months at uni. Okay. In terms of background, I mean, I don't think anyone is ever surprised when it's I was a kid who loved reading and writing. It's just, it was what I grew up on. So for me, fun was, if there was no lights, if they took lights, I would go to my dad's study and essentially find a book to read. Right. And that wound up with me reading books I had no business reading at the age I was. It's I'm a 7-year-old reading Sidney Sheldon or whatever. And and then the thing is, because also I always say this, but both my parents are they have similar interests, but they're very different. So my dad is an intellectual. Right. So my dad is the type of person who's going to ask you to read a Wole Soyinka book and write a review about it. Right. And my mom was more read City People obsessively, would buy Ovation, would buy Hello, had an extensive Mills and Boone collection. I don't really remember reading those, but I know I read had Daniel Steele, up till maybe by the time I was 18, I think. We used to go back and forth on if we'd read all the Daniel Steele books.
That's so awesome.
The way at the end of the book it would have the titles. And then we would be read this one, read this one, read this one, read that one. And I think my mom has read every Daniel Steele book. Even to this day, because if I travel now, and this is me giving myself away, maybe if I haven't bought her anything, if I'm at the airport and I see Daniel Steele, I will literally just buy it and we're good. She does, because my mom's also low maintenance. She's just going to she appreciates that. Yeah. So I always use that kind of as an illustration of I don't look down on anything. I have tastes or I have things that people would consider highbrow. Right. But I also love reality TV. Yeah. I love some ratchet shit. I also have tastes that's kind of lowbrow. I don't for me it's just consuming everything equally. Yeah. What else? background. Okay. So to kind of again give further context. So at school, like in terms of, I was gonna say average, but I think I was above average. But it's like I was above average, but I really excelled at like things like English and government.
Right.
So again, because those were the things I was interested in, and naturally that extended itself to, I want to study law because that's like what feels like the natural path. And from that, I think, so that obviously kind of shaped like the things I did academically and obviously what my career path looked like. Because it's like media was the passion, law was like the profession. And essentially now fell on me to kind of figure out how to make those two things coexist.
That makes sense. And I think in Nigeria, where we talk a lot about, and I just drew a blank on it, what's that thing called? I want to say ownership, but that's not what it is. What's the word? Copyrights.
Okay.
Copyright.
Yeah.
That I think having that experience in law, what would you say?
To be honest, because like I think when I studied law, like the 3 years I studied it, I think the highest grade I got in uni was in media law.
Okay.
And I think again, that's just like illustrative of the type of person I am. I do really well at the things I'm interested in. The things I'm not interested in, I don't really bother. So like I was terrible at math just because I couldn't even, like for me, it was like reading a foreign language. Like all the numbers, like I just couldn't process it. But then it was like, give me words, give me things that allowed me kind of express my opinion or give me things that, like just stuff I was interested in. So I remember like when I would go do, like when I was doing media law in uni, because I did it my second year. I found it so easy. Just because like it was like kind of like just so in everything I've done, obviously studying law, there's not much of like where like the interest in media was allowed for it to like exist. And so I picked this model that both those things existed. And I'm just like studying things that I had already studied or that I used to read for fun. So I'm like, this shit is easy. And I had like a great time doing that. And I think that kind of influenced like what I wanted to do if I worked as a lawyer. So when I finished law school for like a year, I didn't do anything. On paper, I was, because at the time I think I told my parents, I was like, I haven't had a break in like, at the time I hadn't had a break in like 3 years. And I just wanted to wake up and do nothing. But in theory, I was working on Cultural Custodian. But I know that's like, but it wasn't serious. So obviously, naturally, my parents didn't take me serious. After a while, they were like, you need to get a job. And at the time, because I had made my whole thing, I didn't want to work as a lawyer. So I remember I interviewed at like I did all sorts. I wanted to do PR. I wanted to, and the thing is, I have two distinct memories of the interviews I went to go and do in that 1 year. So one day I had an interview with someone who is now like an Egbon. I wanted to work at his PR agency. And he doesn't remember this, but I had to tell him one day, because again, this is a funny story. But so this one day, I interviewed with him, and he was quite mean in the interview. Like he just wasn't, like I could tell, I knew I was going to get the job. Because I remember saying to him something along the lines of, I was telling him obviously that I had this media thing I was doing on the side, and I ideally wanted to ensure that my weekends would not be, like I didn't want to work weekends. And he basically told me, you can't work here and not work weekends. Like you're gonna have to do trenches work. And he just wasn't, I guess he wasn't welcoming to it. And then a couple years later, so like we used to do a lot of work with his agency. And one day they asked me to come to the office, and then one of his people is like, like he really wants to meet you. He really wants to meet you. And I'm like, we've met before, but like whatever. But obviously I went to his office, which was the same office that he had told me, like we had interviewed. And then he said to me, he's like, I really love your platform. I was like, you don't remember? And then I had to remind him, and he was like, you've done well for yourself.
Well done.
And I'm like, great. And then the second one was, I interviewed at a bank. Like that was how hell bent I was. I'm like, I'm not doing this law thing.
It's for someone who doesn't like math.
Yeah, but like I
customer service.
It wasn't customer. It was like I think I was going to be like in the legal department. So I don't remember. I actually don't even remember. I think I just, you know, when you're just applying just for fun. So I was like just applying, and the next thing they sent me an email saying we have an interview for you. I'm like, okay, sure, cool. So I remember I went for the interview, and I did it, and I think I had done assessments. So I did the assessment. It was like a whole day affair. Did the assessment, was waiting in my car for them to call me for the interview. They called me to do the interview. And when we did the interview, they're like, oh, yo, we like you, like you're good. But someone was like, but I don't think you'll be happy doing this job. Like based on what I'm hearing, like it just doesn't sound like you will enjoy this. So it's like, you can take the job if you want to, but I won't advise you to.
Oh, interesting.
And I remember like just living there, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I didn't know what to take from that. And I remember I called my mom, because she's like, oh, how was it? And I was like, yeah, this is the feedback they gave me, like that if I want, I have an offer, but just, I don't think you like working here. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I guess maybe. So eventually, I think someone introduced me to someone who was looking to hire like a young lawyer, and this person just like, for some reason, he just liked me. And I think the reason why he liked me, like sometimes it's funny, because at the time I had this thing where I didn't have a phone. So I was like, if you wanted to talk to me, you had to email me. And so he was trying to set a meeting with me, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have a phone. Like, let's sort this out by email. And I think that's like thing just was just like, who's this eccentric? Who's this weirdo? And so we met up, and he just liked me. Like, and even today, because he's like it's my OG. Yeah. We still have like a great relationship. But obviously he ended up hiring me. I worked as a lawyer. The pitch was I was supposed to work like doing like IP. So not IP, TMT. That's what it was called.
What's
so it was
TMT?
Telecoms, media, and tech, which is basically IP, but just like an entertainment supposed to be in there somewhere, because he knew that was what I was interested in. And so I mean, I did that for a bit. It was a great learning experience, because I think like anyone who kind of works in creative or creative adjacent like industry, I think should spend like a year at least in proper like work environment. So,
I agree.
Law firm, consulting,
bank,
you need
something.
You need to go and do that 9 to 5 in KPMG, where they will, like 95% of the things will not make sense to you. But it's just building that resilience and discipline is so important, because I think it kind of helps people. Like when you're in an industry like the creative, where like there's a lot of
anyhowness.
Going with the flow. Like it sets you apart. It's like it's very good foundation. So like for me, like it was like, I'm so grateful I got to do that, because it helped me in just shaping and influencing what I wanted to do with my life. Right. Yeah. So anyway, like that, we started with one question.
It's okay. It's okay. It makes sense. It was even one of my questions. How did you go from studying law to building Cultural Custodian? But you already talked about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then you started Cultural Custodian when?
I started Cultural Custodian 2014. So I was in uni.
You were still in uni.
Yeah,
okay.
In uni.
Okay. So then, but then, like you said, you first took this job before you now went full time. So let me say, when did you start full time? Like, okay, I
went full time 2019, I believe.
Ooh, right before COVID.
It was 2019 or 2018. It was 2019. I think I quit my job October, November 2018, and I used that like the month or two. I essentially just 2 months. Like the last 2 months of the year, I just use that to chill. Like, so, because again, when you're working, like I was essentially waking up at 5 a.m. every day, probably not get home till like 8, 9. Like obviously that takes its toll. So like I used those 2 months to rest. And then I remember January 2019, we got our first office. So that was like, I mean, so when people ask me when did it start, I mean, there's like when it started, but there's like when it became serious.
Okay.
It became serious January 2019.
Okay. January 2019. So what we're celebrating? Sorry, my math is not mathing right now. 7 years.
26. So 7 years.
Wow! Congratulations. That's a that's a baby. That's a we're almost teenagers now. Okay.
Yeah.
And in doing so, you've obviously done a lot on culture, music, storytelling over the past, obviously since 2014, but like you said, since 2019. So can you just tell me a little bit about what you think, from your point of view, the culture, the landscape of Africa's, music culture, entertainment culture, all of that. Where do you see it going? Where has it come from? Where are we?
Okay, I mean, so, like, I think to give context, I think what I would use is when we started CC in 2014, there was kind of like there was a worldview that we kind of had, which was we were trying to do something that was obviously fronted by Nigerians and Africans, but that kind of had like a global POV. So what I usually say is like, I'm a guy who liked Kanye West, but also liked Afrobeats. And I had never seen those two things collide. And so that was what I wanted to do. But then we did that. And I think, obviously, as you start to grow and you start to evolve, you start to be like, why the hell am I covering American culture when there are 20 million platforms who have more money than you, more money and resources, more access, are covering this thing, and they're doing like a very great job of it. Like, how is that the one that you people in Africa decided you wanted to do? So it's like, I mean, the color mentality was kind of playing. And I've seen the way, like, just the way African culture has evolved. Like, so we've gone from what I'm discussing, like what I'm referencing, where it's like we are thinking about, this thing can't stand on its own. We have to like
connect that.
And then we reach the point where it can stand on its own. And that's what people are interested in. And then now we're at the point where there are so many more platforms who are existing within that space. And so I think that just kind of speaks to, because I feel like in my lifetime, a lot of things, or a lot of what was conventional wisdom has been flipped on its head. So we've gone from, if you told your parents you wanted to do something in the creative industry, they'll be hesitant. To now, like, they are some of the biggest consumers of like the things that come from this industry. We've gone from, what does like a best case, like, so it's like we've gone from a situation where Nigerians are not even creating for Nigerians anymore. Like, Nigerians cannot afford to see their biggest stars again because like they come here on holiday. But like we've been priced out. Like, so I don't know that anyone thought like in this lifetime, or like not even in this lifetime, because I think maybe in this lifetime is kind of like being ahistorical because we've seen things like this happen in the past. But I don't think anyone thought this was possible within the time frame that it has happened. And I mean, another thing I always say is like, I remember when I was in uni, if you went to somewhere like Selfridges, or if you were in a public place and you heard Nigerian music,
it was a big deal.
It was a big deal. And then I remember the summer of Essence. And that summer I was in Italy, I was in Florence, just walking on the road. And all of a sudden I'm hearing Thames' voice like blaring. And I'm like, yeah, of course they're playing Essence. Like, it's normal. Then we have like Afrobeat songs doing like 1 billion streams. So I think it has definitely, we've gone from this thing being something that people look down upon to something that is now like a multi-million-dollar industry. And I think now in terms of what that can look like in the future, I think at this point in time, I think we're having a reckoning where it's like, we've had these opportunities. Have we made the best of it? No, we haven't. But there's still enough motion to maybe hope and work towards like another wave where there'll be more interest, there'll be more attention. We have the same goal. The goal is to win at football because he just has this lasting impact. So I think like there are instances of where it works that we just basically need to use as kind of like foundation. Like it's like, okay, this is what this can look like.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like the name Cultural Custodian. Where did that come from? I don't know if 100 people have asked you this, but it's just such a...
100 people have asked me this. And the thing is, I don't remember.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, so I can't... Apparently, I'm good at naming things.
Okay.
So it's like a thing where like I will, if I sit with something long enough, I will come up with, like I'm the doodler. So like I will just write notes down and things. So I don't know, like the thing is, I'm sure there was something artistic that I was consuming at the time where the word custodian probably stuck in my head and subliminally like I just like, so I remember like the thing is, I think I'm trying to remember this right now. I don't remember because I'm trying to even remember some of the names we came up with, like, but honestly I don't remember properly. I just know that it was like the type of thing where when I hit my guys out to be like, I think this is a name, and they're like, there wasn't pushback. So it's like we had a name before and there was pushback. It's like, okay, we need to go back to the drawing board. It was like, oh yeah, this is the name we should go with. And that's how it became a thing. But I honestly can't tell you, like other things, like more recent things I can remember, but like I honestly don't remember. Do
you know why I asked? Because it not the same, but almost kind of like Dirty December. Like it has it just names itself, right? And I can see somebody coming and being like, so who made you the cultural custodian? Like, you know, that kind of thing, like the way apparently coined Dirty December or trademark Dirty. Let's not talk about that today. But you know, that kind of thing, like how will you trademark something that is already like a thing? Like, but again, like it just feels very like, who made you culture?
I know it's so funny because I see people use the word custodian these days. You know? And instinctively I'm like, should I get my lawyers to send a letter?
You see what I was talking about trademark earlier? Because it's like, okay, custodian, like it feels like a very ownership kind of thing. But it's okay, I'll let you get away with that. All right, so like you were saying, now you do so many other things. But before I even go to that, because I'm really curious about the fact that you have 5 different podcast, for lack of a better term. 2 things. One, you've been saying we a lot. So who's we? And then I want to know what makes CC distinct from every other media outlet.
So when I say we, I think I'm referring to everybody that is a part of our story, because I'm not delusional enough. I mean, I'm delusional on some days, but I'm not delusional enough to think that what we have built is the product of any one person's efforts. I think it's like it's an amalgam of, it's something that's existed for 10 years. Different people have done different things. So like I'm referring to the people who started with us. I'm referring to the people who are with us now. I'm referring to the people who are going to come in the future.
I love it.
I'm referring to the people that have consumed what we've done and been inspired by it. It's just like, like I'm fully in the collective, like, I just think that there are so many people who have been part of this story that using the word I just is kind of just disrespectful to the work that they put in, regardless of however we feel about each other. Because I mean, there are people that I don't work with anymore. That's like, if they ask me for 5 naira, as like that's the lifeline, I don't give them. But
5 naira,
naira. But I might not like. I mean, I'm just saying that. But I think, like I just think we are the sum of like a lot of parts. So we is just to honor everybody.
I love it.
And then what makes us different from any other platform? So I'll use So I remember when I remember I was interviewing someone once for a role, and they said, "Oh, you know the thing I like about you guys? I know you're not lying to me." And I was like, "Huh." I don't think that's something I was thinking about. I mean, we're not in the business. We don't lie. We're not going to lie. We're just going to say how we feel, and we're going to, give reasons for the thoughts and the things that we do. So I think the first thing is that I feel we have like strong brand trust, so people trust us and the things we do.
Yeah.
I think secondly, why I would say or what makes us different is that I think now maybe this is the delusional part, but I don't really think there are any media. No, I don't think there are many media companies who are putting out as rich and as diverse an offering as we are. So from the things we do with video to our podcast network, to what we do with editorial, to what we're doing across socials, to even what we're trying to do with events and products. So, I don't think there's anyone who is doing as much. And that's not to say that people are not doing it.
Right.
I just think if they're doing 30, we're doing 50.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's anyone who's doing as much across all those different things the way we are. And I think that is what's something, because I think the way I think about it is that we're giving different people different things. So the analogy I always use is the newspaper. Yeah. So tell me, when you were growing up, if you picked up the newspaper, what was the first place you went to?
Honestly, did I pick up the newspaper? So interestingly enough, I'm a reader like you.
Yeah.
And that Daniel still think we are forever friends because of that. Because Daniel still, Sydney Sheldon, Nora Roberts, I grew up on them like there was no tomorrow. But newspaper, I don't know, sports? I mean, I'm also a sports girl, so, yes.
This is going to prove my point, because some people like you, in your case, would have been sports. Yeah. Some people is the cartoons.
Yes, that would have been number 2.
Yeah, some people it's the opinion page. Like, I just want to read the opinions. Yeah. Another person, so I have friends who, like, if they picked up a newspaper, it's a metro page they're going to, because that's a place where they're going to say this person stole 20 people's organs or whatever. Like, it's just like
stupid story.
Yeah, like it's like where Nollywood meets like reality. And so some people are just there just because they have a wild imagination and they want to see or read like what's going on. Yeah. But so the way I think about that is we are trying to cater to the different, like, so the way people pick up a newspaper and have like different things that we're looking for. With what we are doing, we're trying to cater to those people by giving them different things, like the way they would when they picked up a newspaper. And I mean, someone might tell me, it's like, oh, you should kind of hone in on one thing. It's like, no, why? Like, because at the end of the day, I think culture is a way of, like, when the social studies definition they give you is that culture is a way of people's life. It's a way of life. So like, we want to capture the way we live and, like, just be able to create something that speaks to like the different touch points or the different needs that people have. Yeah, no, I definitely love that. And so I will confess, I hadn't heard about it obviously until he told me, and then now I've just been like consuming. That's what we love. Nothing I love more than when someone hasn't heard of us and then they come in and like, so it's like, yo, there's a lot in this universe. Yes. Just find the thing, like, just go through it and find the things that's like work for you. Yeah. We're not stupid. We don't think that there's someone who's going to listen to every single thing. Absolutely. Yeah, because it's just, even my mother who loves me is not going to listen to every single thing. She'll try. She'll try, but she's just not going to like consume every single thing. So and that brings me to another question. Sorry, I jumped up and down, but I think it depends on what you're saying. How do you then balance being a journalist, for lack of a better term, a podcaster, a media entrepreneur, even content creator all at once? The thing is, I think they're all the same thing. Explain. So every time people ask me to like, oh, what's your job?
Yeah.
And I'm always like, depending on where. If I'm in the airport, I put lawyer. Just because.
I know that. See, I'm with you on that. Yeah. There's never any other time that I put public health.
Yeah. So if I'm there, I put lawyer, but more often than not, I just say journalist because I think essentially every single thing I do, I think is just like a different. I regard it all at the end of the day as kind of media or journalism work. So I think I just think of it as like different parts or different like remits under that role. So it's like interviewing people, that's the journalism.
Yeah.
Writing, that's the journalism.
Yeah.
Editing, that's part of what you do as a journalist.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I think of it as just like one thing, but then I haven't found like a one word that I feel like, because I feel like sometimes journalists are generic, like, and I want to think I'm special. So I want to create a word that just like
encompasses everything. Exactly.
But yeah, no, I haven't. I don't like. I mean, I'm not really that big on like that. Like, I mean, whatever people say I am, I'm like, oh, that's your perspective. Fair enough. Like, that's how you see it. Only if I think the only one I don't like is blogger.
Why?
Because I think it's disrespectful.
Well, is it disrespectful to now? Did you ever blog? Because I think I was a blogger.
I blogged, but I think my thing was I just hate when people call Cultural Custodian a blog.
Oh, no, but it's not a blog.
Yeah, like because I feel like,
that's
and I think the reason why is because I feel like if a Nigerian is saying that, I feel like the concept of a blog has been severely cheapened in this part of the world.
Yes.
So if you say a blogger or he runs a blog, I feel like, oh no, that's kind of like, even if you don't mean it, I feel like there's almost in my head, there's like a hint of
you don't have a job.
Yeah, so like they're not serious, or like this one is an NFA, or this one, it just doesn't want to do.
What is NFA?
No future ambition.
Oh, jeez, Lord have mercy.
It's like, so if I mean, no, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say because it's just disrespectful.
Say it, tell us.
It's just like when, like, so it's like when if I'm talking to maybe one of my girlfriends and then maybe she's talking about seeing a guy.
Sorry, one of your girlfriends.
What, as for female friends?
Oh, okay, because I was just like, is there a lie? Is there
no. I'm talking to like one of my female friends and then maybe she's talking about a guy she's seen and then she's like, oh yeah, he raps. And more often than not, what the person is saying is that he doesn't have the future. Yeah, like it's just like, as per at 30 something, he's still rapping, still making music. Like he didn't let go of that dream when he was 16.
Stop now.
But again, that's why I said it's kind of disrespectful because I mean, that's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah. No, but I get it because I mean, ideally, the Shade Room is a blog, like in all this thing. Which is
crazy because I literally have on my Spotify is a podcast episode with Angela Wadu, who founded the Shade Room. And I mean, I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to this because I'm actually curious to hear her story. But yeah, because if someone compared me to the Shade Room, I mean, I want the money that the Shade Room has. But I think, like, again, I would be like,
but it makes a good point, right? So back then, when I was blogging, Linda Ikeji was the blog.
Yeah.
I was blogging, but I would not have felt like I was a blog because I wasn't giving the gist, the tattletale. In my mind, I get what you're saying. That's the difference between feeling like you're reporting opinion or news or writing
all these things,
stories.
It's all in your mind.
It really is, isn't it?
But I mean, at the end of the day, part of it is that like life is a perception game.
Yeah, it really is.
So you want people to, if you take yourself seriously, you want people to take you as seriously as you take yourself, not, like this guy's just having a laugh.
Fair enough. You said something now about how people will describe you, so then I want to ask, what would you say are 5 distinct words or phrases you think anybody in whatever sphere that knows you would easily associate with you or describe you as?
So the first one I think is reliable. I think like it's one of the things I model myself on because I think life is hard and you want to be able to go through life knowing that if you can call this person at this time with this thing, they will be able to do it.
Yeah.
And I think like one of the things, like I've lost so many friendships because I just found the people unreliable. Because like the thing is, because I'm trying so hard to be reliable, if I'm not now being met with, and I mean, I also know that like I'm self-aware enough to know that sometimes it's not that the person is doing it because they hate you.
Right.
It might just be that they can't just do that for you at that point in time. But like, that doesn't mean that like if that's something I need and you can provide it to me or provide it for me, it's like, so I think reliability, and it's something that I think I've learned from my parents. I think my dad is one of the most reliable people I know, and I think of that just like in his relationships. Like my dad just has such a high sense of responsibility. Anything that, like, my dad is the type of person that I imagine if he went through life now, like everywhere he went, he would be a leader. Like he would be a leader in church, he would be a leader in school, he would be a leader at work, just because he takes things like he just treats it seriously. So reliability, I think resilience, because I think anyone who is building anything in Nigeria has to be resilient. Like, and if you build something as long as, you know, what we have built, you have to be resilient. And you have seen Shege. And you will see Shege in the future. You just have to but you just have to be able to just like keep powering through. So I'd say, I mean, reliability, resilience. I'm trying to think of three more. I think this one now is what I want people to say, but I'm not gonna say I'm smart. Like I want anyone who like has a conversation with me and leaves to be like, oh, that guy's so smart. Like it's like, how do you know so much? Like that's okay. That's now leads to something else. So it's like, it's just so funny because like one of my goals in life is that if anybody I know is everyone who wants to be a millionaire and they need to call a friend, I am that friend. Reliable.
Like
so reliable. So you can trust that this guy's going to pick up the phone. As smart that this guy's going to know the answer. Like so.
But does it have to be culture questions? Because if they give you math questions.
I mean, yeah, definitely not going to be. Not culture. Like it doesn't have to be. Like the thing is, I'm a general knowledge guy. Like so.
So that's what I'm saying. Now general knowledge is. Well, I guess not all culture, but I get what you mean.
But just no, don't give me math question. I mean, and the person's going to know that if it's a math question, don't call me. But like so. So I've said resilient, I've said reliable, I've said smart. I'm trying to think. What else do I want people to feel when they interact with me? The thing is, I'm secretly sensitive, but that's secret, so like I don't want people to know that.
But does that mean they don't already know that?
The people nearest to me probably know.
Exactly.
Like they probably, but I'm thinking those three things are the things I think.
That's fine. I'll leave you with
just trying to just see if there's anything anything I'm missing out on. I mean, I guess another one is like being like just cool and fun. Like so I think part of this is like when people feel like they can talk to you without fear of you judging them.
Right.
Like so can you be a safe space for people? Like can they come and tell you things and you're not going to use it against them? I mean I've done that in the past. I'm ashamed of it. But then when I say cool and fun, I think part of it is also like the way I think about it is like, okay, my younger cousins, like, you know, I'm like the OG who is like, like, you know, Maiwa, I need this thing, and Maiwa can help you sort it out. Or it's like, you know, sometimes even if it's like just you know, those uncles that always just send you money when you needed it.
Yeah, just at the nick of time.
Like so, like that type of thing. Where it's like, you know, like mine was like the cool fun guy. Like so, even if it's like okay, something they can't tell their parents. Which I mean, it happens a lot. Like with some of my younger cousins, where it's like, their parents will be like, oh, please, can you talk to this person? Like, he's moving mad.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget. I remember once, like, my auntie called me to say that my cousin got in trouble at school.
Yeah.
And she was upset. She was livid. And when she told me what he did, I just started laughing. because I know him, it was funny.
Yeah.
Like,
and she wanted to kill you?
Yeah, she wanted to kill me because the thing is, I can't say it on camera.
No, it's
I'll say it off camera. But like the thing is, it was so funny. Because I was like, oh, you can't do that. But it's funny. Like, it's actually really funny.
I know the feeling.
And so I had to call him to be like, yo, dude, like, it's funny. It's very funny. But just know where you are, when you're doing stuff like that. Like, don't do it in school.
Exactly.
But
you can do it for me, but not in school.
Yeah. So like, being just like, you're being a fun guy.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'll go with those.
Okay, sounds good. What was I going to say? Oh yes. So, how many are you? Like, do you have siblings?
I have one sibling.
Oh, you have one sibling. Okay,
Yeah.
So are you a first?
Yeah, I'm the first.
Okay, so when you said reliable, I was already getting that vibe.
Yeah. No, we're so different.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't like.
Oh, it's two boys.
Yeah, it's two boys. He doesn't care. Like he just doesn't care. Like, so like, even my
last born.
Yeah, like the other day, like my mom was with both of us yesterday, and I said, "Oh, mom, like this guy is so spoiled." She's like, "Yes, he is." And I was like, "Yeah, like he's really spoiled, like because there's just a way he just." And I mean, I say that like obviously tongue in cheek,
yeah.
But yeah, like our worldviews are very different, just because like like the sense of he doesn't really have respect for like order and authority, like just as a rule and as a concept. Like if they ask him to do certain things, he'll ask why. And when you give him the why, if he doesn't agree with it, he's not doing it. He's not going to do it. And you can't get him to do it.
In another life, I'm coming as a last born boy.
But I'm the one that like, I suppose whether it makes sense or not.
I'm very specific about it.
Just to keep the peace.
Last born boy.
No, that one, it makes sense.
In another life.
It makes sense.
Last born boy. What? This first born girl thing is not beans.
I can't imagine.
It's not beans. I'm so jealous of him right now. Okay. So, like I said, I really want to talk about this podcast because, you know, for me, it is season 4. Sorry, guys. I mean, I should know this by now. I have said that this is my longest job. So I've done a lot of many jobs in the past 20 years, but being a podcast host, this is my longest job. And I'm so curious hearing from someone like you who's now then been doing this for 10 years. I mean, I know not all the podcasts for 10 years, but you now have, or at least I wasn't sure which everything was you, but there's...
Everything is not me.
It's not you.
Like, I'm not on everything.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes, like, the thing is because like
I've seen you in most of them, but maybe not in, like, you're not the primary host, you're saying.
It depends on the ones you have.
So I have Submarach.
Yeah, I'm on that.
With an S.
I've been on that, but I'm not on it.
Yes, I think I saw, yeah. Overnight Success.
Yeah.
Uncultured.
Uncultured, produce.
Carnivores.
Produce. I've not been on an episode of Carnivores.
Trying to see all the ones. Fourth Republic and Free the People.
Free the People produce. Fourth Republic, I'm on that.
Aha.
Yeah.
So now that's a lot of creative hats because they all do different things and talk about different things. So how do you juggle that? Number one, I'm just really, really curious.
Part of it, honestly, is having good teams. Yeah. Like, but then the thing is, if I'm also honest, sometimes things suffer. Like, so Free the People last year, we weren't as consistent as we should have been because other things kind of came and then it suffered.
Yeah.
But a large part of it is, and which is part of like why like I want to be on as little as possible in terms of as like like actual talking. Like I'd rather just produce like, okay, I think we should do this. Just because I also think like I don't want people to think of when they think of CC, I don't want them to think of my voice. Like I don't want to be on everything. Like I don't need to be on everything.
Yeah.
So I think part of it is honestly is just being able to find good people who are able to understand and execute the vision, and then again are reliable that you can essentially build something with. Yeah. But Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so as a fellow podcaster, what are some of the misconceptions about podcasters or podcasting in Nigeria?
There are many now. Everyone assumes once you like every video thing is a podcast, and I hate that thing so much because I'm like, it's not a podcast. Like it's like, for instance, I don't regard Overnight Success as a podcast.
Okay,
I regard it as an interview show. I don't think it's a podcast.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
fair
but like
enough,
I mean, that's just a distinction.
Fair enough.
That's just
fair
a
enough.
distinction that is in my pocket
Yeah.
because whatever people call it, it's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but people like it.
Yeah. What else are the other things? I also have misconceptions. I don't really know if this was a misconception, but I think we've not really cracked like just what the monetization of this can look like.
We need to talk about that after the show.
Yeah, we've not.
That's where I'm at.
And I think part of that is explaining to like the people who have money. So I think as Nigerians, we think of scale a lot, but I think sometimes there is influence in micro scale. So like what that means is you can have 1 million listeners and of those 1 million listeners, maybe 10% are active listeners, like in the sense that like they're consuming every single thing
every single
that you
episode.
do, or they are doing things, they're making decisions based on what you tell them.
Yeah.
But you can have 100,000 followers, but your followers are just more, or listeners or whatever, they're more engaged.
Yeah.
So like if you tell them I'm doing this thing,
They'll
they
come
will be
out.
there.
Yeah.
So I think people just think about things solely from like a numbers POV and not necessarily just like, how can we do this thing? And I think so what that does, it people make lazy decisions because a lot of times, like I'll be talking to like brand managers who maybe they sponsor like one big show and they don't feel like they got value. And because of that, they don't want to give money to anybody again. And I'm like, the reason why you didn't get value is because you weren't clear in what you wanted to get out of it. You just wanted to align with something that was big. And naturally, obviously, that big thing, because the thing is, they have other big things.
Yeah.
And so they're not going to prioritize you.
Yeah.
Like, who cares about pleasing you? They collect your money, they clean mouth, whatever it is they told you they will do it. But you're here whining and you don't want to give anybody money again. But like, it's your fault. It's like your responsibility to make better decisions. So I think like that one is just like what the monetization of this can look like. And the people who have the money being able to just have the sense. Like it's not enough to have money, have small sense. And let that kind of obviously influence how you like relate and deal with people.
I think that kind of answers the next question, but I'll still ask it. What specific change would you propose in the podcasting media space in Nigeria or Africa?
I mean that, but also I think the other thing is people. So I remember once again, one girl told me, he was explaining to me that like one of the biggest crimes we've committed is allowing people think that news and information should be free. Because the point we were making was how many people in Nigeria can pay all their content and would have like a sufficient revenue base. And then I remember because the thing is we were at his house, but then when he started, so he was like, the lights, electricity is a public utility. But guess what? We pay for it. He's like,
everything.
Water that you're going to shower with. It's like, everyone should have access to water. But the water is not for free. It's like even the water that you drink. It's like, bro, you think Nestle are giving you water for free as much as there's water everywhere. And I was like, like, so like, I think one of the big things I would love is just a situation or a world where Nigerians understood, like we're more media literate and understood like the value of paying for information, because I think like it would make all our lives easier. Like we won't have to feel like professional beggars. Like,
but do you think Google caused all of this?
I mean, definitely the tech industry are definitely like they're at fault. Like and this is like it's one of like my bugbears. I mean, I hate how much we have to rely on them because they are the like rafts that we have had to build on. But like they're very irresponsible with the things they do. So like Twitter changes the algorithm today, and all of a sudden that affects just like, bro, you're going to spend the next 9 months trying to adapt to like the new algorithm, and then they'll just do that again. And like it's just like screen your business up
Yeah.
at every opportunity they can get.
Yeah.
And there's just no consequences because ultimately, like, they're the big tech industry and they have so much money, and just ultimately you're just like a scrappy media company. So we keep having to just go and collect like pennies on the dollar from them,
Yeah.
while knowing that they are the ones that are responsible for ruining. And that's not to say, I mean, evolution is a good thing, but I think like they have things have evolved in a way that I don't think was responsible or well thought out. I think it was just people serving their best interests at like every point of like every point where there was like potential for things to change or evolve in a way that's
no, I definitely relate to that. I'm gonna let you go soon because I could ask you a million questions and I have like another 100. But one of the things you talked about now is also, having a good team, and obviously to do the kind of work that you're doing, like you said, you have to have many people. How do you find that in Nigeria? Because I hear a lot of people who are business owners complain about the talent pool in Nigeria. And for you to have gotten here 10 years later, it means that you're doing something right. So I would say, I guess I would ask it this way. In recruiting and getting the talent that works for, Cultural Custodian, one, what is the one thing that you're looking for? And then how do you develop leaders?
I think like talent is a base requirement.
Yeah.
But I think one thing I look for is people who will be fulfilled by the work that they're doing. So like, because I think the first thing is like media is not like, if you don't care about it, it's like, I don't think you have any business doing it. Like, it has to be something that you care about. So like more often than not, it's like trying to get people who will feel animated by the work that they are doing. Because I also think like that is like a very key part of what keeps people in employment. So it's like more often than not, you want to feel fulfilled by what you're doing. If you feel like you're not fulfilled, you're going to be looking for other things. So I think the one thing I look for is like people who love the work that they will do and who will be fulfilled by it, because I think that more often than not, that can power them through like all the inconvenience that they will find across the way. So I think that one is one thing. And obviously, it makes sense if you're talented, like, but then also you have to have like a sense of ownership. I hate people who you have to like keep reminding or following up with, or just like stuff like that. Like, I want people who you tell them something and they can build on what you have told them. Like, nothing makes me happier than like if I come up and tell someone, oh, like, this is the idea I have, and they're able to come back to me with a plan. Yeah. Because it's like, okay, now we're in business, we're moving. More often than not these days, I feel like that's something sometimes you have to train. Like, you have to train people to think that they are more than just that, what their contract says. Just feeling like a sense of ownership in what they do and how they do it. Yeah. Let's talk about the question. So it was what we look for.
Yes.
So what we look for, and
I think I was asking how you just deal with the like them not having that education and all of that, but still,
So the other thing is I also
building them, I guess.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, if you are employing people, I think at a point you have to be committed to like building them. But and so I think that is like a two-way thing. Like, so the person has to be interested in being built, right. But like, you can't build if there's no cement. Like, like, so they need to meet you in the middle, you need to meet them in the middle. But I think one thing that's very important, and I mean, part of it sometimes is the responsibilities you give them. I, like, everyone at CC knows my favorite motto, my motto in life. The reward for good work is more work. Like, so if you do good work, if you prove that you are capable, that just means, we're going to be able to give you more work because you have shown that like you are capable at this thing. And I think that's the only way people can improve or build. Like, so it's like, you have to think about what are you adding, what appraisals, just like, okay, how can we what support do you need? Like, what do you need to kind of, obviously, on this journey of becoming your full self, or your full form, or your final form? Like, what are the things that we can do to help you? And I mean, obviously, a lot of parts of that is you have to give people tasks that maybe they didn't expect. Because I remember I was talking to someone one time, and like she's just about to hit a year, and she was like, when we asked people to vote, they voted her as most improved. And it's funny, you are voting someone as most improved when they've not even hit a year. But what that is because she said similar to me. She's like, oh, when she first started, like the first thing that I asked her to do that she knew she couldn't do. But the thing, she couldn't tell me she couldn't do it. So she had to kind of figure it out. I'm often, I know, if you're smart, you will figure it out. And so when you figure it out, it's like, even just for yourself, you are taking confidence from the fact that, oh, this thing I thought I couldn't do, I can do it. And then so like she's like, yeah, I did that one time. I did that a second time where I gave her something again. She's like, oh shoot. Like, but then what the takeaway for her was that she can do hard things. And I'm like, yeah, right. You can definitely do hard things. And I will keep giving you hard things because like the point is that we need to keep challenging you, because if not, you just end up comfortable.
No, I like this. I think I'm happy that you didn't say, oh yes, Nigerian employees are harder. I feel like that's what a lot of people say. And like you said, especially because in the creative space, maybe people didn't then get that formal training and structure, and they're not used to structure. But I think the point that you're making is, at the end of the day, be committed to building as well.
Yeah, because I think so. We can't do this blame game of like employers are bad, employees are bad, because I think ultimately. And I had this conversation again with someone on the team who, because they're close to me, they have like an employer like POV, but also ultimately they're an employee. But they were explaining to me like the different, like how like obviously both parties will see things differently. And so, but I also think ultimately everyone is an adult and you can't like, so I'm not going to come and say, oh, the Nigerian, because ultimately that's like BS. Like there are people who are able to find like they're able to find like green spots in that. So like if they're able to do that, like I have to figure that out. I can't, like, I love complaining as a Nigerian. Like I love it. Like there's not like, just like those people who are always ranting. But I hate people who like, so I may complain. But when I finish complaining,
you'll find a solution.
I will get on with it, and I will do what I have to do. But I'll complain just because I have to complain. But like so
just as a Nigerian,
I just have to complain. But I hate people who just complain and then don't do anything about. Like one of my friends always says is that like your destiny is in your own hands. And you can't wait for everyone to come and like do things for you. You have to kind of obviously build what you want. And so, and I mean, I'm not saying that it is foolproof. I'm not saying that I haven't had people that I've wanted to kill. I'm not saying that, the people I work with are perfect. But I think ultimately it's just both parties acting in good faith. So you trust me that I'm not exploiting you. You trust me that I am committed to your growth. And I trust you that if I give you this thing, you can get it done. And if you can't get it done, you will, even if it's like you can't do it yourself, you'll figure out how to get it done. And like as long as for me, ultimately, it's like if we have goals and we are hitting the goals that we have, then we're good. If we're not hitting the goals that we have, then it's like a question of why aren't we hitting the goals that we have? So sometimes it might be as simple as literally changing someone's role. Like, so someone might be good at one thing or is employed at one thing, but then you realize like their strengths are in a different thing. Like, so maybe you can see like a bad performer go from like a good, but I think you have to be committed to understanding like the people that you are working with, and they also have to be committed to understanding what you're trying to build, and basically everyone just working towards that common goal.
I like it. Okay, so you started, last two questions, I promise. So you started Cultural Custodian magazine last year?
Yeah, so we launched a print last year.
Yes, that's awesome. Honestly, I really love that. And so now, when choosing stories to cover, what key things do you look for, and how do you approach controversial topics? And maybe not just in the magazine, but also
it is, we like controversy because ultimately it sells. but
how do you do it in a trusting way, like you said?
Yeah. So it's funny that we're having this conversation today, because literally yesterday I signed off on the call for entries for like the second issue, and so
awesome.
yeah. So
no, it's really cool.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, what do we want? Like, and obviously we came up with a theme. We came up with, just like how people should think about it and what they should. Honestly, I think we're just looking for. So the way we're thinking about it is that this magazine will be a historical, like a cultural thing. So we want it to always feel like a snapshot of the year that it was done. So last year's issue, 2025, we want a situation where in 100 years' time, if people are trying to understand what the hell was going on in Nigeria in 2025, if they looked at this one thing, they would have like a clear idea. And so for us is, how are we able to capture like the zeitgeist in that way, but also how are we able to capture it in a way that is, I think what I want to use is diverse, but like I think it's even more than that. I think Nigerian culture can be monocultural because we have, like, when you live in a place like Lagos, what is happening in Lagos becomes shorthand for the rest of the country.
Of Nigeria.
And it's like, again, just the way America is not the world.
Yeah.
There are 36 states in this country. What the person in Zamfara is going through, or like their way of life is not going to relate with what the person in Ibadan is going through. So for us, it's about how can we capture all those multiple like viewpoints and put it in one thing that, touch wood, can stand the test of time. So it's like, this is something that is just instructive to how people think about like just culture, about like history, about us as a people. And so, like, I mean, just even working on issue 2, like, I'm so excited because, like, doing issue 1 was just, it's the type of thing where it's like, wait, why didn't we do this earlier? Or why didn't we do this sooner? But the goal, obviously, is that issue 2 is going to be bigger, it's going to be better, it's going to be stronger, it's going to be more undeniable. And so, like, just even doing that, I'm like, okay, yeah, like, this is getting me going. Like, I love it.
I love it. And finally, before we go to our fun questions, we do have fun, rapid questions. What advice would you give young Africans looking to build media platforms or creative arms today?
Find an uncle that'll give you money. Find an uncle and auntie that'll give you money. If you're not a Nepo baby, I mean, joking. What things? I think so. First of all, have like a clear idea of what you want to do. I think it always makes sense when you can establish like what the gap is, and you can fill that gap. That's one. I think 2. What else? I mean, be resilient. Think about the money a lot. The passion is great, but passion without doesn't work. So, and passion is not enough. So think early about how you can, turn it into money. And I'm not saying this as someone who has figured that out. It's still something I'm figuring out, but it's and I mean, maybe sometimes I wish like my brain was processed, or like I was a different type of person, because maybe that question would have been easier. But like, I think if you're not the person, find someone who can do that, because like that's very important. And then what else? And prioritize like in real life experiences, or because I think ultimately at the end of the day, whatever it is you're trying to build, if you can't build or layer a community behind it, it won't work.
Yeah.
So I think these days the best media businesses tend to be basically event companies, because like they're doing lots of events and they're figuring out ways for people to come and participate in that. So I think figure that out like pretty early. If you do, you will build something successful.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. These are rapid fire questions, so you just have to think about it really quickly.
Okay.
Who's the most underrated African creative right now?
Oh, most underrated. Jeez. The thing is, I have so many people in my head, but then I think I also don't want anyone to vex for me. And then I'm sure, like, okay, most underrated African creative right now. Jeez. Who do I think people need to appreciate more?
That really took you out.
Yeah. Who do I think people need to appreciate more? Okay. Okay, yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't think he's underrated. I just think he needs more props. So, Mr. Lambs, Olamide Adichie, but not Olamide Badu.
Okay.
So Mr. Lambs owns Bounce. He produces some of the coolest like shows and some of like the coolest shows in this country, and like also does like crazy events. And he's very unassuming. He's like one of those people that wants you to be, if you know, you know. Like, and I keep telling him that like I understand because yes, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
But as long as me I'm alive, I'll keep shouting his name. They're like,
nice.
Yo, that's the GOAT, and you guys need to treat him like he's the GOAT.
Okay.
So yes, Olamide Adichie, Mr. Lambs.
Okay, I'll go find out who this person is. Never ever heard of them. So, all right, one trend in the African media space you think is overhyped and should die as soon as possible.
One trend that's overhyped and should die as soon as possible. Oh God.
My rapid fire questions are not rapid.
Yeah, like I'm trying to. So like everyone wants you to be a content creator. Like some of you are funny, some of you are cool, some of you are crass. Like kill that shit. Like you just don't have the personality for it. Like whereas I understand why, but like nah.
I'm gonna leave that one because that content creating thing is a very interesting thing for me. Like I feel like I've still not done one content creating thing towards my podcast.
Yeah.
It's a struggle, but I don't know if it's just an age thing for me at this point. Biggest myth about African culture that needs to be busted?
Biggest myth. I think this now is just very color mentality, but it's just like the idea, like the perception of what African culture looks like. Like so, like I remember once talking to someone who was like really, really important and really famous, and I asked him a question about culture, and like their answer was so, no offense, but like I was just like, the hell? Like they started talking about culture in the sense of Shango and like just like. I'm like, bro, no, we're in another wave. So like I think understanding culture for what it is in the now, like yeah. I mean I don't know that I ever answered that question well, but yeah.
No, I get it there.
Yeah.
Okay, and lastly, what are you looking forward to the most in 2026?
What am I looking forward to the most in 2026? I'll say two things. So the first one is all the amazing things Cultural Custodian is going to do this year.
Yay.
And then the second thing I think is seeing what Ashake does. I'm really hyped. I'm really geeked for what I think is coming.
Interesting. Wait, what? Why?
Just because I think that, and again, I don't think he's underrated.
Yeah.
But I think that last year, I feel like his star power increased without him doing that much. He just made like a couple strategic things, and like the star power was just like, okay, like I'm on the wave that this guy is on.
Okay.
And so I just want to see, because obviously last year he didn't put out an album.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's been cooking. So like I'm really excited for what that
So is that your favorite artist?
Not really, because this is a recent thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that's happened like in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, but yeah, like he has me right now in a way that like he didn't have me 6 months ago. So as he has me, I'm living in it. I want to see what he does.
Interesting. Now you made me think of a question. So who's your favorite person you've interviewed? Or your favorite
person I've interviewed?
Yeah.
God. I would say the Wale Davis, the tech overnight success was my favorite interview. And that changes because sometimes like the interviews that I do, that the ones that everyone likes are not the ones that I like. Yeah. But I think why that episode means and meant so much to me, and even just like talking to like people was, I think, so again, if you worked in creative, I think you are used to like doubting yourself. Like it's like, oh, this thing I'm doing doesn't make sense. Is it going to work? Yeah. And I think Wale's story is like very instructive of how the dots can connect. Yeah. So like, and the things I remember, like, I know what I did to kind of like get myself ready for that interview. Yeah. I know how I felt when it was happening. Yeah. And I know how I felt after. And it was one of those ones where I kept on telling everyone before it came out, like, oh, I think you need to see this thing when it comes out. Yeah. Like, I think it's really good. Yeah. And then it was lovely that when it came out, like that's how I felt about it was validated by how people felt about it. Yeah. And so like the things, it comes up like a lot, like in conversation with like, you know, I'm talking to like my creative friends who I didn't even know used to watch stuff like that. Yeah. And they're like, oh, yo, like I'm going to be like Wale in 10 years time. Like, the things, I'm doing all these things now. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay, cool. Like, I love that. So I think, I love that interview kind of captures what's working in this space, that it doesn't have to end in like tears. Yeah. Like it can end in glory. Yeah. Like it can end in, and it hasn't even ended in his own case. Like it's still going. But I think it was just good for every one of us feeling like our dreams can be validated. Like those things that we've held in our hearts for so long will happen. Like they can happen. Yeah. So that one. Yeah, that one is one of my favorites. I would say that one.
I love it. Okay, as usual, in every episode, you get to ask me one question on anything that you like.
Okay.
So
one question I'm allowed to ask two.
Yeah, you can ask two.
Okay, first one. What do you eat for breakfast this morning?
I'm not eating today.
Why?
I don't eat breakfast.
Same.
That was easy.
Yeah, so second one. What in your life is fulfilling you right now? So like what's the biggest source of joy and happiness in your life right now?
I'm going to answer that two ways. God is always the biggest source of everything. And I know, you people are tired of me, but I just have to say it is what it is. I think, honestly, I am in that place where, so I'll probably just say it now. This is the year we turn 40. And so, obviously, I'm not doing a big party. I say obviously, but if you know me, you guys have been watching, no, I'm not doing a big party, I'm not doing a big thing. But I'm in that place where I'm kind of structuring and thinking about this so-called big age, but like, I want everything that I'm doing in this year to be purposeful and to be intentional. And I think that if I'm focused on that, right, then everything I'm going to do is going to be fulfilling. So right now, having this episode, recording this, I'm very, very fulfilled. Thankfully, I don't even have anything else to do today. So like having this be that is literally fulfilling me. And I want that to be what I use to make every decision for the rest of this year. Because again, that whole idea of I don't want to get to 40 and then think, what have you done with your life? What have you, so whether it's eating or drinking or whatever it is, like I want it to be that purposeful and intentional and fulfilling. And I think lastly, my nephew's around and he's literally my...
How old is he?
He's turning 4 in a couple days, so he's my sunshine. So that is also making me very, very happy at the moment. Okay. Thank you so very much. This was just honestly very, very exciting for me. One, I got to meet a celebrity. This one that is acting that very cool like this. It's my first fellow podcast. No, I can't even say fellow podcast. What I've done compared to this is really, really cool. And then I'm tapping into the blessings that we'll be able to do this,
Amen.
For a long time as well. But no, thank you so much. Thank you for honoring the invitation.
I really, I've had fun.
Thank you. All the good stuff. Like, subscribe, share, all the things that we do. I'm so excited to be starting this new season, and we have very much more to come. See you guys soon. Peace out. Without people.